Stop. Before you scroll away, let me ask you something that might change your life. What if I told you that in the next 15 minutes, you'll discover why that room in your house that you avoid, the one could become your favorite space again? And what if the solution doesn't involve throwing away your precious memories or hiring expensive organizers? Here's a startling reality. Research shows the typical American household contains more than 300,000 individual items, yet seniors utilize merely 20% of their possessions. If you're beyond 60 and drowning in decades of accumulated belongings, feeling suffocated by your own space, you're definitely not walking this path alone. Picture this instead: stepping through your front door and immediately feeling serenity wash over you instead of that familiar knot of stress in your stomach. Today, I'm revealing 6 scientifically backed decluttering strategies designed specifically for seniors. No extreme minimalism philosophy required. No harsh toss everything mentality that ignores your emotional attachments. These aren't your typical organizational tips you've heard 1,000 times. These are compassionate, practical approaches that celebrate your cherished memories while creating the tranquil, organized sanctuary you absolutely deserve. And here's a promise. Strategy number 4 will revolutionize your entire perspective on releasing sentimental possessions forever. If this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell. You'll want to catch every technique I share because your future self will thank you. Also, drop a comment letting me know which room in your house needs the most help. I read every single comment, and your challenges help me create content that truly serves you. Meet Eleanor. Allow me to introduce Eleanor, an energetic 69-year-old former librarian from Tucson. After 4 decades in her beloved home, she felt imprisoned by her own possessions. Every corner contained a story, but those stories were suffocating her spirit rather than enriching it. Does this scenario feel painfully familiar? Eleanor's formal dining room hadn't hosted a proper family gathering in over 4 years because the mahogany table disappeared beneath stacks of paperwork, crafting materials, and countless boxes labeled important items that she could never quite categorize properly. Her spare bedroom had transformed into an unofficial storage facility, making it impossible to welcome her grandchildren for those special overnight visits she treasured. As for the garage, well, let's simply say her sedan hadn't called it home since 2018. But here's where Eleanor's story becomes absolutely beautiful and inspiring. In just 8 weeks, utilizing the precise methods I'm about to share with you, Eleanor completely transformed her cluttered house into a peaceful haven. She didn't hire costly professional organizers or rent industrial-sized dumpsters. She implemented these 6 senior-specific decluttering strategies that honor your personal history while actively creating space for your future. If you've been postponing decluttering because the entire process feels monumentally overwhelming, pause right now and hit that like button. You're in exactly the right place at exactly the right time. Strategy 1. The memory curation method. Let's begin with the technique that changes absolutely everything: the memory curation method. This approach isn't about discarding your precious memories, it's about thoughtfully curating them like the priceless treasures they truly are. Here's how Eleanor stumbled upon this life-changing strategy. She possessed 52 years' worth of her children's artwork, school assignments, and achievement certificates scattered throughout every room of her home. Each individual piece felt significant and irreplaceable, but collectively they generated chaos instead of the joy they were meant to bring. The memory curation method operates on this principle. Designate one beautiful, substantial container per child or major life milestone, not a cheap plastic storage bin, but something truly worthy of housing your most precious memories. Eleanor selected elegant cedar boxes from a local artisan, approximately shoebox-sized but with greater depth. The governing rule remains beautifully simple: only items that genuinely spark profound joy and tell the most important chapters of your story earn a place in your memory container. Here's the process that makes this method incredibly effective. For seniors, first, collect all items from one specific category. Let's say your son's childhood memorabilia. Spread everything across your dining room table or bed, where you can observe each piece simultaneously. Now comes the transformative question: if I could preserve only 12 items to help me remember this precious phase of my son's life, which would they be? Not 75 items, not 35, just 12 truly exceptional pieces. Eleanor was absolutely amazed by what unfolded next. When she could select only 12 items from her son Michael's elementary school years, she naturally gravitated toward the most meaningful treasures. Michael's first proud attempt at spelling his full name, the Father's Day card with the crooked heart and glitter everywhere, his third-grade graduation photograph with that gap-toothed grin, and the essay he wrote about wanting to become a firefighter to help people like Daddy helps books. The remaining 180-plus items, they were pleasant and nostalgic, but they weren't essential for preserving those beautiful memories. The psychological impact of this method is absolutely incredible. Instead of experiencing guilt about what you're releasing, you feel overwhelming gratitude for what you're keeping. Each item in your memory container becomes precious again because it's surrounded by intentional space rather than overwhelming clutter. But here's the senior-specific enhancement that makes this method extraordinarily powerful. Create a comprehensive digital archive of your memory containers. Take clear, well-lit photographs of each selected item and organize them in clearly labeled folders on your computer or tablet. This way, if you ever want to revisit something that didn't make it into the physical container, you maintain a complete visual record. Eleanor discovered that this digital backup provided her with the confidence to be more selective with her physical items. She knew nothing was truly lost forever. One crucial note for seniors: include your adult children in this process, but don't transform it into their emotional burden. Ask if there are specific items they'd genuinely love to have, but make it absolutely clear you're not requesting them to store things they don't truly cherish. Many seniors are genuinely surprised to learn their children prefer a few deeply meaningful items over countless boxes filled with everything. What memories are currently occupying space in your home instead of bringing you daily joy? Share your story in the comments below. I genuinely love hearing from you, and your experiences help other viewers feel less alone in their journeys. Strategy 2. The One-Touch Wednesday Principle. This revolutionary method helped Eleanor conquer her paper avalanche without sacrificing entire weekends to sort through decades of accumulated documents. If you're like most seniors, you have paper piles colonizing every available surface: insurance documents mingling with grocery lists, tax returns from 1989 coexisting with last week's medical appointment reminders. The One-Touch Wednesday Principle will fundamentally transform your relationship with paper management forever. Here's the simple yet powerful concept. Every Wednesday, commit to exactly 30 minutes of paper sorting using the one-touch rule. When you pick up any piece of paper, you must make an immediate decision. No setting it aside for later. No creating a maybe pile for future consideration. You have precisely 4 options: file it, act on it immediately, scan it digitally, or shred it completely. That's it. No additional categories, no procrastination allowed. Eleanor began with her kitchen counter, which had accumulated nearly 4 months of mail, medical paperwork, and miscellaneous documents. She established 4 designated containers: a filing organizer, an action tray for items requiring follow-up, a compact scanner, and a cross-cut shredder. The magic occurs when you force yourself to decide instantly. That insurance statement from 2001, shred it immediately. You only need the most recent 7 years for most purposes. The warranty for the microwave you replaced 3 years ago, shred it without hesitation. The lovely holiday card from your former colleague, take a photograph if it holds special meaning, then recycle it responsibly. But here's where senior-specific wisdom becomes crucial. Create what I call the Essential 8 filing system. These are the only 8 categories of papers you actually need to maintain physically. Current insurance policies, recent tax documents last 7 years, medical records last 5 years, legal documents like wills and deeds, current financial statements, warranty information for appliances you still own, vital family documents like birth certificates, and truly treasured correspondence. Everything else can be scanned and stored digitally or simply released with confidence. Eleanor was genuinely shocked to discover that roughly 85% of her paper clutter fell completely outside these 8 essential categories. The relief she experienced when she realized she didn't need to preserve every credit card statement from the past 15 years was absolutely life-changing. The Wednesday timing is intentionally strategic. It's frequent enough to prevent overwhelming accumulation but not so demanding that it becomes burdensome. Eleanor found that after just 7 Wednesdays, her paper piles had vanished entirely. More importantly, She developed a new habit of handling papers immediately instead of adding them to ever-growing stacks. Here's a senior-specific enhancement that amplifies this method's power. Create a next actions folder for papers requiring follow-up. This might include medical appointments to schedule, insurance questions to ask, or bills requiring payment. Having a designated location for actionable items prevents them from disappearing into general paper chaos. The psychological impact of the One-Touch Wednesday rule extends far beyond organization. It builds decision-making confidence. Many seniors struggle with decluttering because making choices about belongings feels overwhelming. By practicing quick, clear decisions with papers every Wednesday, you're actually strengthening the mental muscle you need for bigger decluttering challenges. 1. Important caution for seniors. Exercise extra care with financial and medical documents. When uncertainty exists, keep them or consult with your adult children or financial advisor. The goal remains peace of mind, not stress about potentially important paperwork. Have you been drowning in paper chaos? Tell us in the comments how many paper piles are currently competing for space in your home. No judgment here, just support and practical solutions. Strategy 3. The seasonal rotation system. This brilliant approach solved one of Eleanor's most frustrating daily challenges. A closet so overwhelmed with clothing from every season and decade that locating something to wear became an expedition rather than a simple task. If you're over 60, you likely own clothing spanning multiple decades, various sizes, and different life phases. The seasonal rotation system helps you keep what serves your current lifestyle while respectfully honoring your fashion history. Here's the foundation. Instead of forcing all your clothing into one overwhelmed closet, create a thoughtful seasonal rotation using just 3 categories: current season essentials, next season preview, and archived treasures. Eleanor transformed her chaotic bedroom closet and reclaimed the daily peace of mind using this exact method. Begin with your current season's clothing in your primary closet. Keep only garments you actually wear during the present season. For Eleanor in Tucson, this meant summer clothing received prime real estate during hot months. But here's the senior enhancement. Within your current season collection, apply the comfort and confidence test. Each garment must pass both criteria. It should fit your current body comfortably and make you feel genuinely good when you wear it. Eleanor discovered she was clinging to clothes that technically fit but made her feel frumpy or outdated. She owned beautiful blouses from her librarian days that she adored but never wore because they felt too formal for her retired lifestyle. Instead of experiencing guilt about this natural evolution, she celebrated the growth of her style and changing needs. The next season preview section is pure genius for seniors. Keep just 7 to 10 pieces from the upcoming season visible in your main closet. This prevents the jarring shock of seasonal transitions and helps you identify what you're genuinely excited to wear again. Eleanor kept a few favorite autumn cardigans visible even during summer, which helped her feel prepared and organized. Now for the archived treasures. This is where the magic happens for seniors. Instead of donating clothes that hold memories but don't serve your current lifestyle, create an archive in a spare closet, under bed storage, or even a designated basement section. These are garments that were significant to different chapters of your life, your professional wardrobe, special occasion dresses, or clothes from when your body was different. The key lies in honest acknowledgement of the archive's purpose. These clothes aren't occupying prime real estate in your daily closet, but they're not gone forever either. Eleanor kept her favorite teaching blazers in archive storage. She doesn't wear them anymore, but seeing them occasionally reminds her of that proud chapter of her life. Here's the seasonal rotation process. 4 times yearly, spend 1 hour swapping clothes between your main closet and storage. This isn't a massive reorganization project. It's a gentle refresh that keeps your closet current and manageable. During each swap, you naturally encounter archived pieces and can make fresh decisions about whether they still deserve space in your life. The psychological benefit for seniors is enormous. You're not making permanent decisions about beloved clothes. You're simply organizing them by relevance to your current life. This removes the emotional pressure that makes closet decluttering feel impossible. But here's the most powerful aspect of the seasonal rotation system. It helps you rediscover clothes you forgot you owned. Eleanor found beautiful pieces buried in her overcrowded closet that felt like new discoveries. When clothes aren't competing for space with dozens of unworn items, you can actually see and appreciate what you have. A practical tip for seniors: involve a trusted friend or adult child in your seasonal swaps. They can offer honest opinions about fit and style while providing emotional support for decision making. Sometimes we need outside perspective to see ourselves clearly. The seasonal rotation system respects your history while serving your present. You're not erasing decades of personal style, you're thoughtfully curating it into something beautiful and functional. How many seasons of clothes are currently battling for space in your closet? Drop a number in the comments. Let's see who has the most seasons represented. Strategy 4. The gift forward philosophy. Here's strategy number 4. And this is the one that completely revolutionized how Eleanor thought about releasing belongings. The gift forward philosophy addresses the guilt many seniors experience about letting go of items that were gifts or represented significant financial investment. This isn't about being wasteful or ungrateful. It's about allowing your possessions to continue bringing joy and utility, just not necessarily in your home anymore. The gift forward philosophy begins with a simple yet profound truth. The highest purpose of any object is to bring happiness and usefulness to someone's life. When something sits buried in your closet, forgotten in a drawer, or contributes to your daily overwhelm, it's not fulfilling its intended purpose. By thoughtfully passing it to someone who will genuinely use and appreciate it, you're giving that item a chance to shine again. Eleanor owned a gorgeous fine china set that her mother presented to her 35 years ago. It resided in her dining room cabinet, used perhaps 3 times in the past decade, but she experienced terrible guilt about potentially letting it go. The gift forward philosophy helped her completely reframe this situation. Instead of viewing potential donation as rejection of her mother's generosity, she began seeing it as extending her mother's spirit of giving to a new family, who would actually use and treasure those beautiful dishes. Here's how to implement the gift forward philosophy in your own decluttering journey. First, identify items that occupy space but don't add joy to your daily experience. These might include kitchen appliances you never use, books you've already read, decorative items that no longer match your aesthetic, or hobby supplies for activities you've naturally outgrown. For each item, ask yourself this powerful question: who in my life would genuinely benefit from having this? Perhaps your granddaughter just moved into her first apartment and would treasure your extra kitchen supplies. Maybe your neighbor mentioned wanting to start gardening, and you have unused tools in your garage. Your book club friend might love the novels you finished reading last year. The magic happens when you can visualize the specific person who would benefit from your item. Eleanor realized her daughter-in-law, who loves entertaining, would be absolutely thrilled to have that china set for holiday dinners with her young family. Suddenly, releasing the china felt like extending a loving gift rather than abandoning a family treasure. But the gift forward philosophy extends beyond personal connections. Research local organizations that align with your values. Senior centers often need games and puzzles. Libraries welcome book donations. Schools appreciate art supplies. Veterans organizations need professional clothing for job interviews. When you can envision your belongings serving a meaningful purpose, letting go becomes an act of generosity rather than loss. Here's a senior-specific approach that makes this even more powerful. Create what I call gift-forward stories. Keep a simple notebook where you record where your items went and why. Eleanor wrote, "Mom's china set went to Jennifer's family. She was so excited to host Thanksgiving with real china instead of disposable plates. Mom would have loved seeing it used for family gatherings again." These stories become a beautiful record of your continued generosity and positive impact. The emotional shift is profound. Instead of feeling guilty about wasting money or being ungrateful for gifts, you feel proud of extending kindness and usefulness into the world. Your belongings become vehicles for ongoing generosity rather than sources of shame or overwhelm. 1. Important guideline for seniors: only gift-forward items that are genuinely useful and in excellent condition. Nobody benefits from your broken or outdated belongings. The goal is giving items that will truly enhance someone else's life. Another key point: don't burden others with unwanted gifts. Ask before giving, or donate to organizations that can distribute items to people who specifically need them. The gift-forward philosophy should create joy for recipients, not obligation. Here's perhaps the most beautiful aspect of this approach: it helps You see your belongings as investments in community, rather than personal possessions gathering dust. That expensive exercise equipment could help someone achieve their health goals at a community center. Your craft supplies could spark creativity. In a youth program, Eleanor discovered that the gift-forward philosophy didn't just clear her physical space, it cleared her emotional space too. She stopped seeing decluttering as loss and started seeing it as legacy building. What's one item in your home that could bring more joy to someone else than it's currently bringing to you? Share in the comments. You might inspire someone else's act of generosity. Strategy 5. Energy zone mapping. This method revolutionized how Eleanor approached her living spaces by matching her energy levels to different types of decluttering tasks. If you're over 60, you understand that your energy fluctuates throughout the day and week. Energy zone mapping harnesses your natural rhythms to make decluttering feel effortless instead of exhausting. Here's the concept. Different decluttering tasks require different types and levels of energy. Sorting through sentimental items demands high emotional energy and crystal clear thinking. Organizing books or kitchen utensils requires moderate physical energy and decision-making stamina. Simple tasks like wiping surfaces or returning things to their designated homes need minimal energy but can be accomplished almost automatically. Eleanor discovered this method through careful observation. She noticed that Tuesday mornings she felt mentally sharp and emotionally resilient, perfect for tackling memory boxes and sentimental items. Thursday afternoons brought good physical energy but less patience for complicated decisions, ideal for organizing closets and straightforward sorting. Sunday evenings, when she felt tired but restless, she could handle simple maintenance tasks, like returning things to their designated homes. Energy zone mapping creates 3 distinct categories. High energy zones tackle emotionally demanding tasks, sorting photographs, making decisions about inherited items, reviewing important documents, or organizing memory-laden spaces like attics or basements. These tasks require your sharpest mental clarity and strongest emotional resilience. Medium energy zones handle moderately challenging tasks, organizing closets, sorting books, arranging kitchen cabinets, or decluttering hobby areas. These activities need decent physical stamina and moderate decision-making power, but aren't emotionally overwhelming. Low energy zones focus on maintenance and simple organization, returning items to proper locations, wiping down surfaces, making beds, or completing quick 10-minute tidying sessions. These tasks can be accomplished almost on autopilot and actually help you feel accomplished when energy is limited. Here's how. Eleanor mapped this to her weekly rhythm. Monday mornings became her high-energy declutter time. She felt refreshed from the weekend and mentally prepared for challenging decisions. Wednesday afternoons were perfect for medium-energy tasks when she had good physical energy, but wanted something satisfying without being overwhelming. Friday evenings, when she felt tired but wanted to prepare for a peaceful weekend, became her low-energy maintenance time. The senior-specific genius of this method is how it prevents declutter burnout. Instead of forcing yourself to tackle emotionally difficult tasks when you're already tired, you work with your natural energy patterns. This makes decluttering feel sustainable rather than punishing. But here's the deeper psychological benefit. Energy zone mapping helps you recognize that having different energy levels throughout the week is completely normal and can actually be an advantage. Instead of feeling guilty about low energy days, you have productive, appropriate tasks ready for those moments. Eleanor also discovered seasonal energy patterns. Winter months brought less physical energy, but more patience for detail-oriented tasks like organizing photo albums. Summer energy was perfect for physical decluttering projects like garage organization or garden shed clearing. Here's a practical implementation tip for seniors. Create simple visual reminders for each energy zone. Eleanor used colored sticky notes: red for high-energy tasks, yellow for medium energy, and green for low energy. When she felt like decluttering but wasn't sure what to tackle, she could quickly choose tasks that matched her current energy level. The method also includes what I call energy bridges, activities that can boost your energy or help you transition between zones. A 10-minute walk might provide the boost needed to move from low energy to medium energy tasks. A cup of tea and some gentle music might prepare you for high energy, emotional sorting. One crucial element for seniors: always have low energy tasks available. There will be days when health, weather, or life circumstances limit your energy, but you still want to feel productive and maintain momentum in your decluttering journey. Energy zone mapping respects your body's wisdom while keeping you moving toward your goal of an organized, peaceful home. It's not about pushing through fatigue. It's about working intelligently with your natural rhythms. The transformation for Eleanor was remarkable. Decluttering stopped feeling like a dreaded chore and started feeling like a natural part of her weekly rhythm. She began looking forward to her Tuesday morning memory sorting sessions and found genuine satisfaction in her Friday evening tidying routines. What time of day do you feel most energized for tackling challenging tasks? Share your peak energy times in the comments. You might discover you're not alone in your patterns. Strategy 6. Future self-visualization. Our final strategy is the most powerful of all. Future self-visualization. This method helped Eleanor make peace with difficult decluttering decisions by connecting each choice to the life she truly wanted to live. If you've been stuck in decluttering paralysis, constantly asking, "What if I need this someday?" this technique will provide the clarity you've been seeking. Future self-visualization works by helping you make decluttering decisions based on who you're becoming rather than who you used to be. Here's the process that transformed Eleanor's entire approach to her belongings. Before making any decluttering decision, she would pause and ask herself, "What does my ideal future self need to live her absolute best life?" Eleanor's future self-vision was crystal clear. She wanted to be the grandmother who could host spontaneous sleepovers, the friend who could invite people over without embarrassment, the woman who could locate what she needed without frustration. She wanted to travel more, volunteer at the literacy center, and spend time on hobbies that brought genuine joy rather than managing belongings that brought stress. With this vision guiding her decisions, choices became significantly easier. Those 52 cookbooks consuming kitchen space. Her future self wanted to prepare simple, healthy meals and had embraced the convenience of online recipes. She kept 6 beloved cookbooks that truly inspired her and donated the rest to the Culinary Institute, where student chefs would actually use them. The craft supplies from her scrapbooking phase. Her future self had discovered that she preferred digital photo albums and wanted to spend her creative time writing letters to her grandchildren, rather than elaborate crafting projects. She kept basic supplies for occasional card making and passed the rest to her neighbor who taught art classes. Here's the senior-specific power of this method. It honors your life transitions instead of fighting them. Many seniors struggle with decluttering because they feel like they're erasing parts of themselves. Future self-visualization reframes this entirely. You're not erasing your past. You're making space for your future. The process has 3 specific steps. First, spend 15 minutes writing or thinking about your ideal day 5 years from now. Be specific. Where are you living? How do you spend your time? Who is in your life? What activities bring you the most joy? What does your ideal home feel like when you walk through the front door? Second, for each area you're decluttering, ask, "What does my future self need from this space?" Eleanor's future self needed her guest room to actually accommodate guests, not store boxes. She needed her kitchen to support simple, healthy cooking, not house every gadget she'd ever owned. She needed her living room to be a peaceful space for reading and conversation, not a display case for every decorative item she'd collected over the decades. Third, make decluttering decisions that align with your future self-vision, not your past self-attachments. This doesn't mean being harsh or unsentimental. It means being selective and intentional about what earns space in your future life. The emotional transformation is profound. Instead of feeling guilty about letting go of things, you feel excited about making space for what's coming next. Instead of mourning who you used to be, you celebrate who you're becoming. Eleanor discovered something beautiful through this process. Many items she thought she needed to keep just in case were actually anchoring her to a version of herself that no longer existed. The formal entertaining dishes for parties she no longer hosted. The professional wardrobe for a career phase that had ended. The exercise equipment for fitness routines she'd outgrown. Here's a gentle but important truth for seniors. Your future self deserves to live in a home that supports her current dreams, not one weighed down by everyone else's expectations or your own past versions. This doesn't mean abandoning meaningful memories. It means curating them thoughtfully so they enhance rather than overwhelm your daily life. Future self-visualization also helps with the common senior concern about burdening. Adult children with belongings. Your future self wants to leave a legacy of love and memories, not boxes of items your children will struggle to sort through. By thoughtfully curating your belongings now, you're giving them the gift of meaningful inheritance rather than overwhelming responsibility. 1 Practical tip: involve your future self in everyday decisions too. When you're tempted to keep something just in case, pause and ask, does my future self need this to live her best life? Often, the answer brings immediate clarity. Future self-visualization isn't about perfection, it's about intention. It's about creating space for the life you want to live, rather than being trapped by the life you used to live. What does your future self need most from your home? Share your vision in the comments. Share your vision in the comments. Your dreams might inspire others to imagine their own best life ahead. 8 months later, Eleanor's transformation was absolutely remarkable. Her dining room table hosted weekly game nights with friends. Her guest room welcomed her grandchildren for weekend adventures. Her kitchen became a place of simple joy rather than overwhelming chaos. But the most beautiful change wasn't in her home, it was in herself. She had rediscovered the confidence and peace that comes from living intentionally rather than accidentally. Eleanor's secret wasn't perfection or extreme minimalism. She still owned plenty of things she loved. The difference was that everything in her home now had a purpose and a place. More importantly, she had developed the skills and mindset to maintain this peaceful environment without constant struggle. The 6 decluttering strategies didn't just organize her belongings, they organized her life. She spent less time searching for things and more time enjoying life. She felt proud to invite people over instead of embarrassed by her space. She discovered energy for new hobbies and adventures because she wasn't exhausted by managing overwhelming amounts of stuff. Your transformation is waiting to be. These methods work because they respect who you are while supporting who you're becoming. If Eleanor's story resonates with you, you're ready to begin your own senior reset journey. Start with just one strategy that spoke to your heart. Maybe it's creating your first memory container or mapping your energy zones for the week ahead. Remember, this isn't about perfection, it's about progress and peace. Hit that like button if these strategies inspired you to take action. Share this video with a friend who's also ready to create more space for joy in their life. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell because I have so many more life-changing tips coming your way. Your peaceful, organized home is waiting. Your future self is cheering you on. Take that first step. Today you've got this.